Hello and good morning to anyone watching this video yet again. Cheers. Right, so I want to get something straight to the female species out there. I refuse to get with any woman that mimics my body language, the way I speak, and my facial expressions on a whole. Now, after having 2.5, I'd say most probably 3 years to myself within one's presence, despite my many struggles, my many battles, I'm now beginning to realise just exactly what's going on with people. People that mimic others are usually the ones with demonic influence. Now, those that also mimic aren't necessarily bad people on a whole. But after dealing with people on a whole and understanding human psychology for what it really is, it's usually the ones that mimic me that screwed me over a lot of the time. Which is why I would never in a million years get with a woman that mimics me. Am I attracted to these particular said people, men included, that are able to mimic me? Yeah, to some extent, but not within the ways that they were expecting. Because believe it or not, people, like I said, those that usually are quick enough to mimic you, like I said, are under demonic influence. And this, you could look at this two ways, One, they're mimicking you because they genuinely find you attractive, and they want to experience you within their presence, i.e. friendships and what have you, / relationships built upon a strong foundation. Or two, they could be mimicking you as a spiritual snare to try and entrap your soul within their warped realities that doesn't exist. Now, this video is going to royally piss off the narcs. I don't care. And it's really going to piss off a load more demonic influences. Guess what? What's that word? Oh, I don't care. I was once attracted to a female years ago. As a matter of fact, we were mimicking one another's body language to some extent, facial expressions, mimicking one's laughter. What else? Combing our hairs back, just micro expressions and things like that. But like I said, having nearly 3 years to myself within one's own company, I am now beginning to realise what is going on. Mimicry. I would spiritually discern. And as a matter of fact, I would recommend anyone to spiritually discern mimicry within people. Like I said, there are two ways you could look at this. one, they genuinely find you attractive, or two, they're mimicking you in the attempt to hook you in and then destroy your psychological well-being along with heart as well as presence throughout the years if you give them that power. This is what I'm saying. A lot of the time, like I said, people that mimic others are under demonic influence. And sometimes, although it's very, very, very rare, they mimic you because they are genuinely attracted to you. But I, like I said, would recommend that anyone and everyone use spiritual discernment in these times. Because I've had so many of my years wasted by people that mimicked me in the first place, that turned out to be demonic influenced or demonically influenced. Thankfully, you know, I do have a lot of experience and, you know, some positive memories to take back from it all, but when you have so much of your time wasted, you begin to develop a completely different understanding, or a different understanding to people on a whole. The Bible says we're to unconditionally love and forgive. Well, that has to be earned by people now, doesn't it? Because like I said, people are quick enough to take, but they're not quick enough to reciprocate, are they? No. Which is why I love showing people a lot of the time a completely false version of myself that they think is real, just to piss them off. Oh, and that was it. Going back to this, you know, past connection that I had, female connection, she turned out to ghost and reject me later, and that's how I know people are demonically influenced. And this is why, like I said, I, on a whole, refuse to get with any woman that mimics me, whether it be facially, whether it be my body language, or cues, or anything else for that matter. After learning what happened in the past. You could do everything right by the book, and I mean the biblical book. And you can actually, in fact, have been genuine all along. And that's still not good enough for the female species. And this is why I'm saying, if men's game within dating and courting is actually whack at the minute, I recommend that you stay single. I recommend that you stay single for however long it takes until you actually do master the art of obtaining that marriage that you've always wanted with a sexually pure woman. That's the only way this is going to work. It's a harsh reality. It's a bitter pill for many to swallow, but it is what it is. Otherwise, if you don't believe me, like I said, you keep on falling victim to these spiritual snares, these traps, you know, that the women give off, and become their puppet, become their pet, as you will. But don't come crawling back to me and crying later on as to why you've had enough of these relationships and you want to break out. Because I tried warning you, each and every one of you involved, the first time round as to what would happen if you actually do fall victim to those that mimic you. Is all mimicry bad? Like I said, no. There are two ways of looking at this. a lot of the time it's unfortunate that mimicry can or is bad because it, is used to get whatever they want out of another person, and then that mimicry dies and you're left with nothing. They've essentially played you for a fool. That was a mimicker. Once again, are all people that mimic others bad? Not always. I happen to know a select, minute percentage of people that mimic me that turn out to have a heart of gold and a sober mind. Now, like I said, you can discern spiritually the realists from the fakes. And I would recommend, like I said, any guy out there to use spiritual discernment in these times when a woman is actually in fact mimicking your body language or facial expressions for that matter. Because like I said, one, she could genuinely find you attractive and it's her way in wanting to get your attention. Or two, like I said, she's putting on a false act in order to try and lure you in with her looks, her physical looks, only to then basically treat you like trash later after doing everything right. This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying onto the fellas out there, don't be dumb enough and don't be quick enough to fall for people's mimicry behaviours. Because like I said, not all mimickers are actually positive influences. A lot of them are takers. They're self-entitled and they have their head so far up their own ass that they can't even smell their own farts, It is what it is. So there you have it, folks. And that's my take on dating, courting, marriage. I refuse to get with anyone, like I said, that mimics me from past experiences. Because I so happen to mimic someone I thought I was attracted to, which, to some extent I was, I'm not going to lie. And I got played. I got played for an absolute fool. And this is why I'm saying to you guys out there, be careful. Because not all women, that mimic you are actually doing it out of good faith. They're doing it to try and entrap you within their warped realities. And don't fall for the bullshit dreams that they try to sell you as well, of the, oh, well, I can give you a happy life, I could do this, I could do that. It's all smoke and mirrors. Empty words, man. There's no truth to any of it. Talking from past experiences, what you think that, I didn't actually, in fact, display any of these personas myself in the past, Of course I did. Because I was just like the men out there once upon a time. I was blue-pilled. I had no clue as to what was going on. I was so naive. And I thought that I knew everything and anything. And it turned out that I was only a young boy back then. That actually, in fact, knew nothing, like many people. that go around claiming to know everything and anything, but in actuality, that couldn't be any further from the truth. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's a front. It's an act. You know, people are actually, in fact, trying to put on a particular said version of themselves, that is, in order to fit into a system that couldn't even give a shit about them. Again, talking from past experiences, you know. So like I said, just be careful out there, people. And don't be fooled. Don't be deceived. Because not all mimickers are good mimickers. They're actually, in fact, demonically influenced. If you can spiritually discern the realists, like I said, from the snakes, then by all means, allow them in. Welcome them. Because they genuinely do find you attractive. And, you know, it could also be like father and daughter relationships, you know. But the fakes, the snakes on the other hand, no. Keep them well away from you. Otherwise, if you keep letting them in, they're going to waste your time. And the more time of yours that they waste, you're just going to get really pissed off. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get angered. Because you could have used that time to have passed down hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years worth of information in order to make this world a better place. That's why it gets frustrating after a while. That is why you get angered after a while. Because you begin to realise that that precious time that they took of yours could have actually, in fact, been used even for something constructive. For something, like I said, that could have actually, in fact, made the world a better place. And brought everyone together as one big family. But no, people don't want that nowadays, do they? Because they would rather be an arsehole and continuously take without thinking of the punishments nor consequences to their actions. Which is why I leave people on the street to burn up in flames. Spiritually, that is. As a form of punishment / consequence. I don't reward degenerative behaviours in people. When people can actually start being real to me, like I said, when people can actually begin to respect and appreciate, as well as act gracefully within my presence, then by all means, I'll actually cut people some leniency. I'll even bless you and reward you in some way. But up until then, no. I'm just going to be cold-hearted with people, like they are with me. Now, I'll probably get a wrath. That's the word I'm looking for. A wrathful telling off, you know. But unlike the crybabies out there that are quick enough to dish it, this old guy, he can take it. He can take the wrathful telling offs. He can take the searings of one's conscience whenever they arrive, that is. The crybabies out there, they can't handle it. They can't handle it because they're weak. They're feeble. They're brittle. It's like you could actually flick them with, you know, not even that much power with your fingers and they'll fall over and die. That is how weak and pathetic they are. That is essentially what they are when trying to steal our power and our anointing. You know, they are absolutely nothing. And if anything, the crowd in today's universe, you know, are my jesters. They are my jokers. They are my clowns. But yeah, ironically, they think I'm the joker, I'm the jester, I'm the clown. When that couldn't be any further from the truth. Because I am living inside of God's will. I'm living according to the gospel. And I'm living within the truth. unlike the vast majority of everybody else that are living within the same old lie and deception that they've essentially sold their soul for, only to be miserable and evil. Oh, and cry, for their golden ticket back when their lives are too tough. But here's the thing. I don't take any of you people back that were quick enough to throw me under the bus. Nope. You're left reaping the consequences and the punishments to your actions. You people, you're going to bear that weight upon your shoulders, and you're going to take it like real men and real women. And you're going to use that weight, along with that pain and suffering that you carry, in order to become the men and the women that you were created to be. Biblically, that is. And like I said, when people can actually start being real within my presence and not a fake, not a snake, with bad motives, ill intentions, agendas, games, which I can see through, by the way, then I'm going to forever ghost and reject people like they do with me. It is what it is. It's going to frustrate as well as royally piss off a lot of you, but, that's your problem, it's not mine. Because you're the one living within delusion. I'm not. And there you have it, folks, so